Peace and blessings, Christ for the Nations family. I am here again with the Student Informer, and today we'll have our guest speaker with us, Pastor Searcy. He'll be sitting in the interview chair, and you're not going to want to miss it. We'll be able to ask him some behind-the-scenes questions, so stay tuned. So, and I was thinking about this today. You have such a very public ministry, and oftentimes I would think that people probably think they know you well. But tell us something unique about yourself that maybe not everyone would know.
Well, I'll start with the basics. Born in New York City, and I left New York when I was 13 years old, went to Tuskegee, Alabama, and grew up there. And then I came to college at Alabama State and was planning on going to the Air Force, so I wanted to fly jets. I just wanted to spin around and do all kinds of stuff. But my senior year, the Lord arrested me, and I gave my heart to Him. And it meant so much to me that I just surrendered everything, and I mean everything from that moment to this one. And since then, I've just been really living for the Lord. The thing that most people might not know about me is that I have almost zero hobbies. I've tried to do a number of things. I've tried golf and just all the typical things, but none of them really satisfy my heart. I do fly. I fly airplanes. That's something a lot of people might not know.
That's pretty cool.
And, but I do that more for ministry to get back and forth because I have a lot of churches, and I do enjoy that. But my hobbies are really probably prayer, reading, and grandkids, if you can call those hobbies, but that's kind of what I do. So there's a little tidbit there that people might not know.
Well, what type of plane do you fly?
I fly a Cirrus SR-22. It's a plane with a parachute, which is real cool. Right there. The whole plane has a parachute, so if anything happens where you don't feel comfortable, you just kind of going to the ground real fast, you can pull the parachute, and the entire plane lets down to the ground with a parachute.
Oh my goodness, that sounds awesome.
Yes.
Okay, so, obviously in ministry, we have our bloopers. Share with us maybe one of your most embarrassing moments in ministry.
Most embarrassing moments, that's easy. I was newly saved, and I was invited to preach at a church, and it was a radio broadcast going all over the city of Birmingham. It was probably my third or fourth or fifth time preaching, and I preached the worst sermon you can ever imagine on the planet. The whole thing was about 3.5 minutes, and at the end of 3.5 minutes, everything I had to say was said, and I had nothing else to say, and I sat down on a radio ministry, and then the pastor got up after me, and instead of trying to fix it, he was kind of like, well, he tried.
Oh, no.
And then he was like, I really didn't know him that well, and I just invited him, and I should have listened to him before, so it was a pretty embarrassing moment. 26 years ago.
Wow.
But since then, it's done a little bit better.
Yes, recovery.
Yes.
Thank you, Jesus. So, speaking of that, you said the pastor got up and he just said, oh, this is the situation. But in situations where perhaps you were younger or even most recently, is there something that you wish that someone would have told you about ministry and looking back on it that you think would have maybe made your circumstance better in any of your ministry moments?
I want to say yes, but it's a qualified yes.
Okay.
Because God is so wonderful at making me understand what I need to understand. One of the things, I grew up in a very, very legalistic background.
Okay.
I mean, extremely legalistic. Did I say legalistic?
You did.
I mean legalistic.
Okay.
I mean, like, women couldn't even perm their hair, they couldn't style it, just no pants, no makeup, no jewelry.
Yeah.
A wedding ring will take you to the hottest part of hell. Fingernail polish will be 3 times hotter. It's very legalistic. So when you grow up in that kind of background and that kind of mindset, your perception of God, I think, is a bit skewed. Because you see God as a God who's always looking for the thing you're going to do wrong instead of honoring the thing you're doing right. So it sets a perception of how you view God. In fact, that's what I'm talking about here the entire week that I'm here. I feel like my mission is to begin to alter the perception that we have. The biggest battle we have with the enemy, I think, is trying to cause us to have the wrong perception of God in our mind as to who He is, number one, in general, and who He is toward us, how He feels about us. So if we can get that perspective right, then everything changes.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
It's been a blessing. Thanks so much for sitting with us. Student Informer, Christ for the Nations family. We'll see you next time.